AITA for refusing to leave to the gym later to not wake up my neighbor. Am I the asshole? OK_donkey 381. Info. What do you mean that you drive a slightly loud car? Is it modified in a way to make it louder? Remove sound protections or cause additional noise? Adeline. 3658. It depends on how loud the car is and how long it idles before you leave. I had a neighbor with a car so loud it woke me up. He would let it run for 5 to 10 minutes each morning. It was more disruptive than the trash company emptying the community dumpsters right beside his townhouse. I hated that guy. Titania T-Rex. 810. Depends on why your car is so loud. XA0, consistent cheesecake, 546. If you've modified your car to be louder than normal, then you're the regardless of your neighbor. Nobody wants to hear that obnoxious shit. If your car is just old and loud and needs a new muffler, you're not an but you should get that fixed. Is it possible to park a little further away? Biomax 315. 13,522. YTA. XA0 You've refused to answer how you've modified your exhaust to be louder, so you likely did. Son of Shroot. 3195. Info. Tell us what car you have, why it is so loud and how long you idle it for. Was it modified? Is the muffler normal? Flora Decora. 150. Info. Did your car come from the factory like this? Or have modifications made it louder? If modifications, are they considered legal? If they're legal and/or your car is loud straight from the factory, then NTA. If illegal, then YTA. Either way, if it's at all possible, it would be kind to park somewhere else. In my last condo complex, there was a guy with a pretty loud truck who parked near the back of the parking lot, as far away from the building as he could. Although he didn't have to. It was much appreciated. Impression Academic. 926. AITAH for leaving my best friend at the bar after she grabbed my plate and refused to give it back. Until I apologize? Am I the asshole? Expensive pin 4926. Friendship is a joint job. Responsibility goes both ways. You know the feel when you think you should write someone. But then remember, communication goes both ways. It's equal responsibility to maintain a friendship. If she's ready to abandon ship the moment you don't write her for a period but refuse to initiate herself, that's a red flag of entitlement. When one of the boys goes stale on contact, well, grab him and hang out. Well, push him online to take some games with the boys. Doesn't matter what. The point is rather we all partake in the responsibility to maintain the friendship. Instead of blaming him for being less present for X reason. If that is GF, family, work, or whatever. Life happens and time withers before you know it. NTA. Loratort. 809. Inta. Not spoken since seems a good thing. Isir Mamalama. 899. NTA and I wouldn't have sent her the money for the food, but I have a huge problem with people taking food from me while I am eating. This was a over-the-top reaction from Mia. Tea of Fifi and coffee. 4797. NTA eyes this friendship as exhausting in real life as it was to read here? If yes, let it go. Not all friends are for life. Grape Gatsby 23. 235. NTA. Honestly, not speaking sounds like a good outcome here. XA0 I wish you hadn't sent her money for food. She stole from you. But hey, hindsight. XA0 she's not acting reasonable. Here, when people go off the rails like this, previous agreements go out the window. And that is their own fault. XA0 you don't share a ride home with someone who grabs your plate and refuses to give it back until you give a proper apology for abandoning them. And by abandoning we here mean dealing with a family issue for a few weeks. Which You guessed it, is not abandoning anyone. XA0 you walk away. Well done. You, XA0. Dryadwinoth. 292. NTA. Everyone else has said it. I am going to add a potentially unpopular opinion. If your friend is taking medications at all for her mental health problems, she really should NT be drinking. Especially this soon after her stay. Poor mental health and alcohol are a terrible mix that only causes pain and regret. If you guys are able to move forward, maybe restrict your outings to safer spaces for everyone. Also, it seems like she wasn't going to apologize initially. It sounds like your friend had to be pushed, ignored into apologizing to you for her behavior. I would watch that pattern of behavior in your friendship. Chaffing britches. 241. NTA, and I guarantee she apologized with the expectation that you would respond with, I am sorry too. I shouldn't have neglected you. I am a terrible friend, which is why she's ignoring you now. Scarlet Nightingale. 74. AITA for not staying out of adult business and ruining my dad's marriage? Am I the asshole? Fantastic_bowler 6450. NTA. Your dad was lying and throwing your mom under the bus in order to keep money from your stepfamily. And let them sit there and slag her off while you're around. All you did was defend her. And rightfully so. He deserves everything he has coming. And I wouldn't feel bad for people who are happy to talk shit about your mom either. Trundlewitch. 4132. Instead of putting the extra money towards them, he's been keeping it for spending it elsewhere. I wonder if he is spending his extra money on a third family. He's quite a jerk. NTA. Swedish Bunch. 448. NTA. You had no way of knowing that dad was lying to his wife and her children. You were defending your mother and her accomplishments. Eve and crew should have kept their opinions to themselves while you were anywhere nearby. That was freaking rude and uncalled for. Because even if your mother was still collecting alimony, that was a legal decision your dad entered into. Your father and his other family are the AHS here. Dad should be keeping secrets, and his wife and children should be keeping their opinions to themselves. Edit to add. You in no way ruined Eve and Dad's marriage, they did that to themselves. Susan from MA. 673. NTA. When I was a teen, I disliked when adults assumed that the average teen isn't capable of having basic understanding of adult topics. From then on, I've made it a point to hear younger folks out and acknowledge that they're likely smart enough to understand delicate subjects when information is presented appropriately. This is a topic you're capable of understanding, and people spewing lies about your mother is your business. Paul_Ruds_drag_race. 113. Man. Op. Your dad, stepmom, and siblings are all toxic. It seems like they have some sort of weird resentment against you and your mom for whatever reason. You were just defending your mom's accomplishments, and it seems like they're just extremely jealous, resentful towards that. NTA. Plus, you didn't ruin your dad and stepmom's relationship. They did that themselves. I'm giving your dad, stepmom, and anyone else that supports them all 3/5 bad guys. I'm giving you 0/5 bad guys. I'm also giving your mom 0/5 bad guys. I mean, what did she do? Yokai Watch Fan 2102. 221. OMGNTA. All you did was correct your father's lie. You have nothing to apologize for here. Far_quantity_6133. 56. NTA. They called out you and your mom. But because of the lies, it turns out your dad was the liar who was probably funneling more money to yet another side piece. He played stupid games and won stupid prizes. And the only person to blame here is him. And maybe Eve and her family for not letting it go. Not creative at all. 16. 43. AITA for telling my fiance's mom she's clueless and needs to mind her own business? Quote, am I the asshole? Tough_debate_832. Nope. You, all good NTA. I hate people who have this weird savior complex when it comes to family. It's annoying and disrespectful to think that the world is a puzzle where everything fits neatly into place. It doesn't. Your family are terrible people and you have absolutely nothing to make amends for. I would consider going LC or NC with your fiance's mom for a while. Scarlet_Highlord 3001. NTA who is made to tell you how to feel. Why do I get the feeling she's not as popular with her own kids that she thinks she is? End of the day you are allowed to feel how you do and no one can try and force you to have a relationship with family members who were clearly abusive to you. I'd almost reconsider inviting May to your wedding, as I wouldn't put it past her to turn up with your relatives for a surprise reunion. Coldstream Capel 431. Nope. You are NTA. Not at all. May needs to mind her business. Does she think she's Dr. Phil? WTF? Clueless is the nicest way you could have phrased it. I'm super proud of your fiancé for standing by you. B. Mandalore Tomid 204. She's not helping. She's meddling. As complicated as your upbringing was, I wouldn't tell her about it. Don't give her any names or other details. Because I wouldn't put it past her to go looking for your family on her own. It's great that your fiancé is pulling in the same direction as you. NTA. Quote, Mini_Godzilla 92. 2. NTA May needs to set up an appointment with a proctologist to have major surgery for a bowel obstruction, i.e., she needs to have her head removed from her ass. She's projecting her own experience and situation on you, when the circumstances are not even remotely comparable. Yet another example of someone who thinks that they can fix the family relationships as part of a major life event. It never ends well. Unfortunately, it may reach a point where May needs to be warned that if she persists, she will be disinvited from the wedding. And if she shows up with your father or other family, both she and they will be thrown out. PLSUH 47. NTA, you don't owe her anything. If she's so sheltered and ignorant that she doesn't realize not all families, blood or not, are super happy lovey-dovey, that's her problem. Buy an air horn, and every time she says something about reaching out to your family, or tells you to give her information about your past, just blast the air horn in her face. Classical conditioning will do the rest. Leadcrow 17. NTA, you aren't marrying her. You remarrying her daughter. You don't owe her anything. In fact, she owes you respect to stay out of your business. Be aware. I can see you're going behind your back to reconcile you with your family, or at the very least, inviting them to your wedding. I am so happy your fiancé is on your side and has stood up for you. She should be the one who handles her family. It might be best for her to have a serious conversation with her mom and set clear boundaries. Something like, look, Mom, we realize and appreciate that you want to help in this situation, but your words are only bringing pain and unhappiness to Op. This is a boundary issue for us. Anytime you bring this up, you will be asked to leave, or we will leave and go LC with you until you can understand this isn't acceptable. If you go behind our backs to meddle and try to fix it, you will be cut out of our lives completely. Do you want to risk never seeing me again and/or never meeting any of your future grandkids? Quote, Beauty Bible Baby Bully 14.